17 incredible pets who save their owners. Number 17. Chloe the firefighter. Dogs are every owner's best friend, and it's a common fact that dogs are extremely loyal and have instincts to help others.
Pets are present in more than 43 million U.S. households, and for a good reason.
Tons of dogs have come to help their owners on a number of occasions and are known to help people suffering from depression, PTSD, and anxiety, along with many other illnesses. Dogs rescuing their family members from fires has actually happened quite often. Animals have instincts that seem to happen before our humans, like picking up on a scent of smoke. In 2014, a Washington family's home was destroyed in a fire, but the family was fine thanks to their dog named Chloe and her frantic barking in the middle of the night that saved their lives. Number 16. Con saves a toddler from a snake. In 2007, a Doberman saved a 17-month-old named Charlotte from a deadly snake, just a week after being adopted from an animal shelter. Con is now called the Wonder Dog by his owners. He saw a king brown snake, which is one of the world's most venomous snakes, approach Charlotte.
When the snake was about to bite the baby, Con pushed the baby away, which ended up making the snake bite Con instead.
But don't worry, the dog was fine after being given an anti-venom shot. His owners are fully aware that he saved their daughter's life by risking his own. Number 15. Foster dog saves best friend's life. A woman named Christi planned to foster a dog named Tater Tot only temporarily, but after a couple of weeks she realized Tater Tot belonged with her in her home. One day after putting her baby to sleep, she saw the dog barking and running back and forth between Christi and the baby's room. She thought the dog was just trying to play with her, but he didn't stop running and barking until Christi went to the baby's room. She found the baby barely breathing and he wasn't waking up. She rushed her son to the emergency room and the doctor said his blood sugar was dangerously low.
Christi said if it weren't for Tater Tot, her son wouldn't be alive today.
Number 14. The Tsunami Savior. A 12-year-old Shih Tzu named Babu saved her 83-year-old owner before the tsunami. She made her owner, Tammy, go for a walk even though she hates going for walks. She also made her owner climb up a hill, which is pretty tricky for a person of that age.
When Tammy turned around, she saw the tsunami taking her entire home away.
If it wasn't for her dog, she could have been caught in the storm or trapped in her house. What a hero! Number 13. Slinky the cat. A cat named Slinky Malinky might not have the most noble name, but his life-saving actions prove that he is nothing short of a superhero. Slinky's owner was a retired nurse in England named Jenny.
She collapsed in her house after having a bad reaction to a medication she took.
For a few days, she drifted in and out of consciousness, but fortunately, the cat knew it was time to take action. He managed to escape the house. He began tapping on the window of a neighbor's house, trying to tell them to check on Jenny, who they discovered just in time. This cat saved her life. Without him, she might not have made it. Number 12. Saves owner from a shark attack. A man named Captain Franz Van was spearfishing off the coast of Australia along with his dog Sky, who always comes along with him. She sat aboard the boat when his life was saved by her selfless act. Van said he was underwater when he realized he was being circled by 2 large sharks. His life-threatening incident didn't go unnoticed by his pet. She quickly leaped into the water after him, trying to save him, but it ended up resulting in her ending her own life.
She probably jumped over to try and protect her owner, not realizing what the sharks were or how powerful they are.
Van said, "I had 2 good years with her in the end, but sometimes I wish it was me and not her." Sky was special. A really sad but heroic story. Number 11. Roman the dog. A 13-year-old girl in China attempted to try and take her own life, not knowing why, but she was able to get the help she needed thanks to her dog Roman.
The troubled teenager was just moments away from jumping off a rooftop. Moments before Roman latched onto her shirt,
holding her back long enough for rescuers to hurry and pull her to safety. Roman's gesture of kindness and strong instincts, even in his own darkest moment, was karma. The girl had just adopted Roman 6 months before that incident. Number 10. Dylan the cockatiel.
Dylan may be just a bird, but when it comes to protecting his human companion, he's definitely more than just that.
The bird's owner, Andrew, had fallen asleep after working 3 long shifts at work when a fire broke out underneath his home. He was so exhausted he didn't notice that his house was filling with smoke and flames. Fortunately, Dylan was on hand to alert him, making his own alarm with the chirping and squawking, and eventually woke Andrew up in time for them both to escape the fire unharmed. Andrew wasn't shy about his bird saving his life. He said, "Without Dylan waking me up, I probably wouldn't be here right now." Number 9. KIARA fights off home invader. A 10-year-old girl in Brazil might not be alive today if it weren't for the bravery of her adopted dog named KIARA.
The girl was home alone with her dog when a stranger stopped by to ask her for a cup of water.
She made the mistake of letting him inside the house. The man began to assault her, and she suffered a blow to her head, which made her lose consciousness. But before she passed out completely, the attack was cut short when KIARA stepped in and started biting the man and made him flee. The girl's father said, "There was a time when we thought of giving KIARA away, but we won't get rid of her anymore. First, it was God who helped save my daughter. Secondly, it was the dog, our hero." Number 8. Parrot rescues owner. Taking a pet parrot on a jog in the park might sound like an odd thing to do, but having her feathered friend by her side made all the difference in this situation.
Her pet bird was flying alongside her owner in a park in London when an unknown person approached and pushed her to the ground.
Before the situation could get any worse, the brave parrot swooped into the rescue and started lashing out at the stranger. Fortunately, that was enough to send the violent man running and avoided a potentially bad thing from happening. Number 7. A faithful dog keeps the owner from freezing. A very faithful dog kept his elderly owner safe and warm for 4 days after a horrible car crash, had the 76-year-old pinned underneath his car. Herbert Schutz thought his life was coming to an end after crashing his car into a tree in a rural area in Australia.
After escaping the vehicle, it rolled over and trapped him underneath it.
He ended up with a fractured skull, 2 broken hips, and a dislocated shoulder. But luckily his dog Boydie stayed by him the entire time, snuggling up to him to keep him warm in freezing cold temperatures. With no cell service, his daughter couldn't contact him, so she organized a search party who eventually found him a few days later. When they first got there, they didn't see anyone, but then the dog came running around the corner and showed her where Herbert was. He could have easily not made it if it weren't for the dog keeping him warm and staying by his side. Number 6. The danger detector. Pet dogs aren't just good at sniffing out smoke.
A 3-month-old husky puppy named Hunter alerted his new family of a gas leak in the house in the middle of the night.
Gas was slowly slipping into the family's home, and their new adopted puppy wouldn't stop barking and crying until his owners got out of the house. The owners are very thankful every day that they got him. Number 5. The toddler lost in the wilderness.
The wilderness of Siberia is a daunting place even for the most prepared and experienced person.
So when a 3-year-old named Karina got lost in the woods, her family feared for the worst. Despite the odds against her, the little girl survived and was rescued all thanks to her loyal companion. For over a week, her dog remained by Karina's side. Lying next to her to keep her warm at night, her family started to lose hope until the dog wandered back into town and he proceeded to lead rescuers back to where the little girl was waiting. One of the officers that found the girl said, "Thank God the girl is safe and sound, and thanks to the dog who did his duty by his young owner when it really mattered to save her life." Number 4. Louie saved her owner thanks to the panic button. A woman named Judith Shaw suffers from glaucoma. She blacked out after having extreme pains in her back and chest. Louie, her dog, called for help by pressing the panic button that was installed in her house and barking into the intercom.
Judith had trained Louie to use the panic button in case of times like this,
which provides direct access to care services if there is an emergency like this one. Thanks to Louie's heroism, Judith received the help she needed, and her loyal pet was given an Animal Bravery Award after saving her owner. Number 3. Roselle. Roselle's owner, Michael, found himself on the 78th floor of the World Trade Center on September 11th. It took some unexpected bravery from his yellow Labrador to save his life. As the building started to sway and the air filled with smoke, Roselle led Michael to safety, guiding him through the crumbling office to a stairwell. It wasn't easy for either of them. Roselle was panting and extremely thirsty.
They both managed to get out of there alive just moments before Tower 1 collapsed.
Number 2. A kitten detected tumors. Some animals save lives not only by scaring off an attacker, but they can also let their owners know when there's a dangerous medical issue too. A kitten named Fidge alerted her owner to her cancer by repeatedly jumping on her breast. She said the cat kept jumping on her right breast, and the behavior finally made her go see a doctor. And it turned out she had a pea-sized tumor where the cat kept jumping. The doctor told her if she hadn't been diagnosed when she was, she could not have made it because of the hormones in the menopause.
This is proof that animals have stronger senses than humans.
Number 1. Not just a dog, an angel. Seizures can be dangerous, so a family in Utah is very grateful that their golden retriever has learned to notice when his owner is going to have a medical emergency. Britton Voss has a rare form of epilepsy that causes him to have seizures and cause delays in his development. His dog, Dopey, alerts people to him if he is having an episode. And he doesn't just predict seizures, he can also get the boys medicine and even call 911.
Dopey has predicted seizures hours in advance of them even happening, and has never given a false positive.
He had even alerted the teacher during school when another kid was going to have one. When Voss has a seizure, Dopey licks his face until he comes out of it and cuddles up with him afterwards. I think this dog has some serious superpowers.
Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.